I think I can call them good friends. You know, we've been sort of hanging out in each other's DJ studios and rooms for the last sort of 6 to 12 months, and I've got Danny Bounce. How you doing, Danny?
Good evening, sir.
You all right today?
Yeah. I've had a really lazy day.
That's good. We've been commenting on the size of your microphone already. It's a beast. I don't think we've got anyone in here yet, so we can get away with that. And then from up north, Grimsby, we've got a co-founder of the 45 Kings, which is Fatwax45. Marky, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you.
We've got our first guy in the chat, Just Neil. How you doing, man? It's good to see you here. Right, so
he's set for not to be missed.
Just Neil, yeah. Well, he's playing on Coffee and Donuts on Saturday.
Mental. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's excellent.
Part of the mental health raid train. I think I did a banner somewhere. Let's have a look. Where is it? Maybe it's this one. There we go. Yeah. So this weekend we've got 28th, 29th, 30th of May, the mental health awareness raid train. 3 days. DJs from around the world. Danny, I think are you playing one of the games? I can't remember.
No, I'm working all weekend.
Working this weekend. Okay. You're tuning in from around the world. Who else we've got in so far? We've got Mark Lancaster, who's been a guest before. We've got Ouija, who's been a guest before as well. We've got DJ Mono. How you doing? Mr. Musto's also been a guest. We've got Jake. We've got Air Adam. Yeah, we've got some good people in already. And of course, Double P. He inspired the show in the first place. He was one of the first guests.
I'll tell you what I needed. What should I remember? Roy wanted to know when we got. I couldn't remember the time difference. He wanted to watch it. He couldn't work it out.
Who's this? Rob or Roy? Do you say?
Roy.
Where is he?
Final Trooper.
Oh, okay. I think he's
in Cali. That's Pacific Standard Time.
Is that now midday?
It's about 8 hours, I think. So yeah, probably midday. Yeah.
Midday.
Yeah, it's noon.
And Just Neil's giving Danny a big shout out for the private stock records. You played on that yesterday.
I hated it.
Why did you hate it? What was wrong with it?
Do you know what? I woke up yesterday. I've had a really full-on week, so I woke up yesterday and I started pulling some records. A few bits and bobs I'd done for Sam's birthday. I wanted to do a little bit that I'd done there, and I pulled a few other bits together, and nothing was going. Literally nothing was working. I couldn't mix. I couldn't scratch. Everything. I just had no coordination. So it got to about 6 o'clock last night, and I thought, well, I'll just go for it. And I had a mare.
It was good though. I enjoyed it. I don't think anyone noticed.
Yeah, I do.
Well, that's well, obviously, yeah. Because you know what you're expecting and what's happening. But everyone loved it. I can't get it on here. Double Piece put up. There you go. Double P loved it. He didn't notice.
Cheers, Paul.
I missed it completely.
Yeah, you didn't miss much, right?
So, in case anyone's I don't think anyone in here is watching who doesn't know that, but an interesting comment. So, Just Neil, curse of being a DJ. I hate everything I've done on Twitch. It's well, let's talk about that. How, Danny, I think did you just do a set out in the real world?
No, Fridays. I got one this Friday coming. Yeah,
you got Friday, okay.
Which I'm looking forward to, and equally not looking forward to.
So why? So yeah, I'll tell you about my gig yesterday. But yeah, so why are you looking forward to it, and what are you not looking forward to about being back in the real world DJing?
I like my house.
Well, yeah, it's a nice house. What I've seen.
And all my records are here. And
yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know what? I'm just lazy, and it'll be one of those things that once I finally get there, and it's just the thought of now I have to take my turntables.
Yeah.
I'll take my own mixer.
Yeah.
Then I've got to take all them records. But once I get there, I'll be fine. But yeah, I suppose at the moment, it's still social distancing, so there's going to be none of that. You got any pussycat dolls or?
Which is a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm yeah. It's just going to be odd. I've not played out since. Christ, I can't even remember.
Didn't you play
July
July
last year?
August?
I can't even remember. Don't think so. It couldn't have been that good if I did, because I can't remember it.
I thought you had a gig when we after the first lockdown. I think you went. Didn't you go and play at that bar
I've done gym
with mate boy for our Christ, I forgot his name. Your best mate for on Instagram. Oh, he puts up them funny memes things.
Blokey.
Blokey man.
Yeah, possibly. I can't remember.
I've got shit memory.
I did DJ for Jim Sharp's birthday.
Yeah,
that was pretty epic. But
we're talking to Jim. We've got him. He's on the show on Sunday. I'm quite looking forward to chatting to him at the end of the at the raid train with Sideshow and Double P. So that's going to be a good show. Yeah, so I did our first gig yesterday. It's a new cocktail bar that's just opened. Some interesting artwork on the walls. Some more explicit stuff on the walls. We need to make sure we don't like broadcast any of that, because Twitch would ban us straight away. Because Ski Talk got banned, didn't they? Because they had a nipple in one of their videos or something. But yeah, no, it was like you say, it was good because there was social distance, so people weren't coming out. People weren't coming up, and they're walking past to go to the loo or go downstairs or wherever. But yeah, it was quite nice just playing records, and actually to real people in. Not that you're not real people, obviously, but obviously the people in front of me rather than names on a chat room. But yeah, it was weird because it was trying to pack and think, right, well, what should I take? I don't want to take, like you say, you haven't got your whole record collection, or most of your record collection like you have, like Mark has got, behind him and you've got behind you. It's a real luxury when we're doing on Twitch, where you can just go anywhere because you just got the music there. But yeah. But right, let's move on a little bit. So let's start. Marcus, should we start with you? We've obviously had discussions about how music has helped you, and certainly sort of being able to DJ, because you weren't someone, from what I can gather, who was DJing out on a regular basis. It was
not really.
Here and there. So you didn't really miss the sort of social aspect of sort of DJing out. But how have you found DJing on Twitch and live streaming? I know you had a few gremlins, but how do you find it generally?
Few gremlins. I fucking every week. Can't get away from the little. But yeah, like I say, I mean, I DJ'd once a month tops, maybe, and that was it. So for me it wasn't. But I think I've never played on my turntables as much as I have done in the last year and a half, to the point where before all this started, I had part of it in the loft. All my 12s was in this room. All my 7s was in the loft. And then I moved into the conservatory, got a bit warm in there, got a bit scared. So then, because I was moving in here to put the turntables in here, Tea Cake 911, my wife, she just said, why don't you just have everything in one room? Just take the whole dining room up, put the table in the kitchen, and this is your room, which was brilliant. So I use them all the time now. I'm still shit, but I know my records a lot more. And that's the one thing that I have really enjoyed, and the fact that when you are, and I mean, I never have planned sets. I've never done it anyway. Even when I did play out, I've never planned a set. So anybody who's seen me on here will just see me just sort of like move over to somewhere else and grab a record, because I kind of have a record in my head.
Yeah.
And then I'm 3 ahead, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm thinking, I'll play a record and I'll think, oh, so all of a sudden that sample's in there, or there's a melody in there that sounds like that one, and that one's over there. So I'll just grab that one, or it's on the floor down there, because there's fucking records everywhere. I've never bought so much either.
Well, we had this question, I think, last time. I think it was last time. I think it was when Mr. Musto was on. He was like, do you think we're buying more records now than pre-lockdown? Do you reckon you?
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, I think I have. I mean, I'm not nothing big and special or anything like that, and I love to find somebody on Discogs that's selling them still at 40 and 50p and £1 and 75p. I mean, I found somebody. I sent you a link, didn't I? After I'd raided him.
I've ordered. I'm chasing it. He hasn't sent it to me yet. I think I picked about 30 off him, and I'm just waiting for him to send them to me. But yeah, no, there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I raided him for about 50 records for £30.
Yeah,
delivered. So there's still stuff out there, and that's and I love a B-side as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
T-Cake's saying that you're buying just as much now as you did before. If anyone doesn't know, T-Cake's your other half.
Yeah.
Your better half, should I say?
Yeah, she meets the mailman, and obviously nothing gets past. So yeah, she wouldn't know as much as me. But yeah, so I've within this last 18 months or however long, 16 months, I would say that I've got to know my collection a whole lot better.
That's good though, isn't it? And I think that's part of the beauty of Twitch, isn't it? I say it on most of my stream, you can play pretty much whatever you want. And people are either going to stick with you and follow the journey or whatever you're playing, or they're going to go to click over to another channel, which is
this is. I mean, obviously on Saturday, just in the chat there was the let's have some trance. So
Gothic trance, yeah.
Gothic trance. Unfortunately, didn't have a great deal in the Gothic trance, so I did go with the little trance trio at the beginning, and then I think,
is that when we got the hype train?
I believe it was. Yeah, I think I got an hype train for playing trance on a breakfast show. So which was great, but that was again another bizarre set. I mean, obviously, I didn't think I'd start coming down here playing R&S records on 7-inch, and then somebody mentioned it in the chat, and it went from there. So
it's all about being inspired, isn't it? And I get inspired all the time, from Twitch and watching other DJs and hearing other music. And Danny, I picked up the that Rock Creek Park you played the other day, and
the EA team.
Your mic's gone off.
Am I there?
There you go. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Cheeky little one that is.
But again, it's cool how you do it. You're like, right, you do a screenshot quick, and then you sort of take it away. And it's great that people on Twitch just tell you whatever it, generally what it is. If someone asks you, and it's amazing the sort of sharing of music that goes on. I mean, how do you find it? I mean, do you get inspired by anyone particular on Twitch or elsewhere?
I think, touching on what you guys were just saying about buying more, I'm definitely buying more.
Yeah.
Because I'm consuming more. I'm watching more DJs this past year, or more DJ sets this past year, than I probably have done in the last decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no other time in my life, even sort of in my 20s when I was out and about, there's no way that I was watching 10, 15, 20 DJs a week.
No.
I wouldn't be here.
Exactly, but yeah, even if
I just sit in there, what is this? What's that? What's this? And I'm happy to share once I've got it.
Yeah. Is that Sam Tweaks? Is that one of Sam's props?
It's one of Noob's gremlins.
Yeah. I'm glad he's getting passed over. I just want rid of the fuckers.
Right. Let's move to maybe it doesn't have to be serious, but maybe a little bit more serious. So, mental health, Danny. Talk to us about what's been going on in your life perhaps over the last sort of 6 months or a year, and how any of Twitch or anything else that's been going on has been affecting that or making it better.
Yeah. So, starting back in March when all this shit show kicked off. I'm a frontline worker.
Yeah.
I work in London, so my life did not change at all in terms of work. I've been to work since the very beginning to now. Nothing has changed. My job is very stressful. I deal with life and death situations and incidents on a daily basis. If that wasn't stressful enough, I'm also the chairman of the North East London branch of my union. So I've got about 2,000 people that I look after under me there. Yeah. So imagine, this year, on top of trying to deal with my job, I've also, it's had its own set of challenges dealing with other people's mental health.
Yeah.
So I deal with mental health crisis at work where people are literally, and I'm literally on a building, on a ledge, ready to jump. So I deal with that. And then on the other side, in employment-wise, I deal with people that are suffering with all types of mental health issues. So I've got sort of both sides of the coin. And probably myself this year, I just wanted to say this, because this is, everyone has mental health.
Yep.
We all have mental health, because just the same as we all have physical health.
Yeah.
And sort of our age group, I think, and especially men, it's always been a case of let's bottle it up.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. It's almost a dirty word. We don't want to talk about that. And that's the polar opposite of what we should be doing. We should be having these discussions. We should be reaching out to each other, and you should be able to say, I feel shit at the minute. I think myself, I dived into work last year. We don't want to talk about that. And then probably just as the weather started getting crap, so every month.
Yeah. We had a good summer last year, though. Surprisingly, we were stuck indoors and we had a good summer. Yeah.
But around sort of November time, when it started getting colder and damper and darker, I just got up one morning. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to work today. And I took a week off work. And for the first time, I just texted my boss. I said, I'm not coming in because I literally just can't be faced. I just don't want to deal with it this week. Yeah. I'm going to stay at home and I'm going to play some records and I'm going to watch some telly and play some PlayStation and just chill out. And he was like, yeah, fair one.
Yeah.
And I think companies need to address that a bit more. Like I know a lot of people that work for new school companies where they get Friday off every week. Yeah. And they get these, what they call duvet days, where you can just ring up in the morning and go, I'm not coming in today because I can't face it. I'm just going to have a duvet day. And I think more companies need to embrace that.
Never heard that.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work, I think, when was it? I don't know, about when I first sort of got into DJing and I was trying to make something of it, and I thought, okay, maybe I can put on events and do that. I decided to go down to a 4-day week, and it made a real difference. But I couldn't make the financial work, so I had to go back to 5 days a week. But it's, we all work bloody hard. It's like it's a long week, and it's not like not most jobs, but some jobs obviously you go in, you clock in and you clock out again. But the jobs a lot of us do, whether they're building or what I'm doing, what you're doing, it doesn't finish. You go home and you're still thinking about it, and you're thinking about it overnight, or you're having a sleepless night and you're thinking about it the next day, and you don't really switch off. And we don't really talk about it because everyone's like, right, well, you've got to go to work, you've got to earn your living, you've got to support your family. You can't be talking about wanting a day off because that could impact on your finances. It's a lot that's put on not just men, but I think men and women. But it seems to be a lot more as our generation growing up, thinking we've got to be the breadwinner, we've got to be the people who provide for our families, make sure that they've got what they need to. And it's really tough sometimes, I think. And like you say, admitting that there's an issue and admitting that you want some help or you want a day off is the first step, isn't it, really?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I was like, I'm going to take 2 days off because basically I work a variable shift pattern, but they're all 12 hours. So I work 6 in the morning till 6 at night, and then I work 6 at night till 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then with travel, you're talking about a 14 or 15 hour day.
Yeah.
But when I said to him, I'm going to have to take a couple of days off, he was like, no, you're not. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
But I'm quite lucky.
Yeah.
Because he's younger.
Yeah.
And he understands. Whereas I think that some of the old school people I work with are not as understanding, that it's a bit of a case of, well, in my day, we would never do that.
It's education, isn't it? And it's generation.
100% generational.
If nothing else, we need to bring up our kids and the next generation, firstly, to be able to talk about stuff like this, and also to be able to say, you know what, I'm not feeling great today. And I think we've said it before on the show, it's always, if possible, having one person at the very least, that you can go and talk about it, And I know certainly with my daughter Z, I was like, I'm doing the show tonight. She's, oh, what's the show about? And I was like, it's about mental health. She's, oh, what do you mean? And then it's just explaining it and saying, look, like you've said already, we've all got mental health, we've all got physical health. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes one's good and one's bad, but it's just dealing with it. And you've got to look after your mental health just as much as you've got to look after your physical health, because they impact on each other. Your physical health might be pretty good, but if your mental health isn't there or is really struggling, it can really do a lot of damage, and it can really impact you in terms of stress. Mark, I'm going to come back to you now. You obviously, COVID has been in everyone's lives for the last 18 months, maybe a tiny bit longer, but you had it twice, effectively, not you personally, but you had it with your father-in-law. And then obviously he got quite ill, and that affected you. And then obviously you and I think T got it as well. Is that right? Both of you sort of had it.
Yeah, pair of us.
Do you want to talk us through how it was in terms of when first of all when your father-in-law got it? How that sort of impacted, and if that affected your mental health at that time.
T, I mean, we did. Some people have got it, and it's like, nobody close had got it, and he was the first person, I believe, that had got it, that we knew personally, and we was getting phone calls off T's mum just saying, oh, he's sweating, he's talking erratic, he's not making any sense and stuff, and with that it was I remember she phoned T up and just said, I've just had to change his bedding because he was sweating. I mean, in the terms of how COVID has affected different people, apart from him actually dying, I don't think he could have got it. At one point, honestly, I thought we was going to lose him. He was chattering away to my 5-year-old son, who was here, but he was at his house in his bedroom.
Right.
He was having such bad hallucinations that he was in his own world, chatting to his grandson, and playing with his grandson, and doing all these things. And then I think what was one of the and like Peggy's wife, she was like, I mean, who are you talking to? And he's like, Albert in the corner. He's just playing with his toys and stuff. And she was like, he's not here, Dal. He's not here. And he's like, it's there. And he would argue the fact that he was in that room.
Yeah.
And I think one of the lines, there's a road in Cleethorpes. So it's called Isaac's Hill. It's not very long, but it's a bit of a hill. And he mentioned that he's 77 years old. T's dad, and he said, "Oh, I didn't realise how big that hill was when I was jogging up it."
Right.
And she was like, "I beg your pardon," and he went, "Well, I've been running up and down Isaac's Hill, and I can't believe how long that road is. I didn't realise it was as long until I started jogging up and down it." And obviously we're just like,
what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, is his brain gone to mush? Is it what? I mean, he's got COVID. This is like the second week, and he's coming out with this, and it's just like this isn't of a sane person. This isn't of him. It's not right. And obviously, everybody was locked down. So T was buying their food, going shopping once a week, got our shopping in, got their shopping in, dropped it off at the doorstep, left, and that was it. We got a phone call. We was out, and it was a mum. Could you just get us some eggs? So we got some eggs, and like you do, without thinking, T run into the house, put the eggs on the side. Mum, eggs are on the side. I'll see you later. And she got back in the car and went, "What did you go in for?" She was like, "Oh, I didn't think." You just do, don't you? You just run into your mum and dad's house.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
And was it two days after, we was like, "I feel crap." I do. And it was just like, I just feel like so heavy. And it felt like I ain't drunk now for 3 years. And it felt like having a hangover. Yeah. 0%.
I was going to say, you're on the zero beer.
Yeah. That's
Heineken. We're not. Other beers are available.
Other beers are available in 0%. I do like the taste, and it feels weird when I don't have one, but I can't have alcohol. So, and I believe that's how we got it as well. We had it. We went about the next day. I think we went and got tested, and then the following day on the Sunday, we got a text from him just saying, "Yeah, you've both positive for COVID. Do not pass go. Do not collect £200 kind of thing," and that's it. And it was
quite scary, especially having seen how your father-in-law had reacted.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, to be fair, T was homeschooling the kids as well.
Right.
Obviously, we had the kids with us. And I think if it wasn't for the fact that we had the two little ones here, and we didn't just try and get on with stuff, you just couldn't. You can't, when you've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, you can't just go, oh, as there was then, there was 4 and 6. You can't just go, oh, well, I'm just having a bad day. I feel like shit. I'm not in the mood. I don't feel very well. I'm this. And you've just got to try and, but yeah, it was scary because you was going to sleep and you was waking up and just going, well, I'm awake. That's fucking ace. Because,
yeah.
And then again, I'm kind of in the back of your mind, you're thinking, one of these hallucinations going to come in. Am I going to start sweating beyond? I mean, the amount of weight her father lost. I mean, he's a 6'6" bloke, and he was a big bloke. And within the month, 6 weeks that he had it, kind of thing, and then just he just disappeared. It was just like it was really horrible to see. To see such a man, and to be fair, he's still not how he was in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, it's taken his life. He's a lot frailer now, and he second guesses himself and stuff. And yeah, he's 77, but I do think it had a massive effect on him.
And again,
and us as well, because we have to. We see him now, and like they'll come down, or we'll go and see them, and you chat about it afterwards, and you just think, that's not like your dad. It's like, but I mean, he's still here, which we are very thankful for, and so many didn't make it through.
I mean, it's been tough, and like a lot of people have lost people from it, and a lot of people died from it, and it's and not just here, across the entire world. It's been a very strange year, and it's like you say, trying to keep your mental health going and all of that, because obviously you're trying to look after him, you're trying to look after your family, you're trying to look after the kids, you're trying to look after yourself. All the time when you're really unwell.
But I mean, there's I mean, obviously we're just. It was just a case of you didn't know what to expect. I mean, in the terms of everything that went on, we had it. Both me and T had it quite light. We just had what I would say was like which isn't nice at all, but it's like having an hangover for a fortnight.
Yeah. That's not nice, but
it's not nice, but
no.
We was nowhere close to how our dad was, and obviously we are, touch wood, still here, the pair of us. But it was, and it is scary. And I suppose as well, you had all these people going, "Oh, it's not real. It's this," and "Oh, I think it's made up," and "Oh, it's this and this," and it's just like, well, whoever made that up was one sick fucker. Because I mean, with the fact that it also, with it, you like you say, you didn't know if you went to sleep, you didn't know if that was it. Once you've got it as well, because you just felt shocking, absolutely shocking.
And just that, I think, and it's. Because obviously at that time, you're reading the papers all the time, people dying, and obviously it must have been hard, really hard, really hard to deal with. And thankfully you through it. We'll come back in a minute to one of the issues that you said you've told me that you sort of suffered about it. But I'll go back to Danny, because I don't know, does he look like a fat white Craig David? Who wants to do it?
Do you not remember the Craig David? Proper bull, I tell you.
If the crowd say Bo Selector.
It's I'm just gonna put some of these comments out, because we're making we're moving around a bit, but exactly 45 feet, one way to light the moon, and
most definitely
it's difficult. Air Adam, the way some people have been so dismissive about is horrifying. Mark saying, he blocked so many people on Facebook who are friends who are just denying COVID exists. And it's still going on now. There's still people who are, generalised anti-vaxxers, or people saying, you don't know what's in it, don't get it, don't do it. But it's almost like, again, we're a bit of a divided country. Like with sort of Brexit, we seem to have this new thing now where it's like, okay, well, you believe in COVID and you get your vaccine, and then you don't believe in COVID and you don't get your vaccine.
I can tell you, as a matter of fact, because I do deal with this at work, that deaths went through the roof. Through the roof, because I was personally dealing with them.
Yeah, of course.
My wife works for the NHS at our local hospital. She was personally dealing with them. It's not some bullshit. Not that this is a slippery slope. I don't think we're probably being told the whole truth, because I don't trust this government one iota. But I know for a fact that this is not a hoax. I'm lucky that I personally have been affected by it. Saying that, my wife lost her business. That's why she works at the hospital now.
Yeah.
But not like noobs having that sort of that direct. Yeah, awful.
And again, so 45 Finch is putting up, because he works and runs a pub, and again, people don't wear a mask, won't track and trace, and it's daily. It's really difficult, because it is. Again, it's there's some people who are good friends, people who are good friends, and they just seem to deny it, or they just think it's massive conspiracy going on. And like you say, we don't know exactly everything that's going on, but I don't think it's a hoax. That's reality. It's and it can't be. Some interesting comments. Sweet tooth there. People far smarter than me, and I put my faith in their expertise. Yeah, that's they are. Ouija saying that. So Danny, you mentioned obviously talking about people with through the union, but how in general has people's mental health been, and have you noticed that it's sort of got worse over the last sort of 6 months? Are you having to deal with more issues relating to that?
Yeah, so on both aspects, my actual job, I'm dealing with multiple calls per hour for people suffering with mental health crisis. I don't mean people just feeling a bit depressed. I mean, like I said earlier on, people that are on a bridge ready to jump, like literally ready to jump, or people that have already done that. So I will deal with the calls where people have already committed suicide, and then their loved ones will contact where I work and say, I've just found my son hanging, or someone walking their dog, I've just found someone under a bridge. They've gone through the roof. I would say at least 5 times as many. And in terms of the union side of it, exactly the same. People contacting me constantly. The anxiety. So we, as a company, we done risk assessments on people that were. So the NHS contacted people and said you were low risk, medium risk, or higher risk. And then they brought in a higher risk than higher, like an extremely vulnerable or clinically extremely vulnerable. Right. Those people have been out of the workplace for a year.
Yeah.
Some overzealous managers at my work have been trying to get those people back into work when they can't, because if they were to die, that would be a really legitimate issue. But those people that are starting to come back, because I think it's June the 21st, people are phasing back, and some employees are already back because the government have said that shielding has finished. So, but luckily, mine aren't yet. But those people are all suffering with anxiety because they haven't been out of their house for a year, and then it's a case of come back to work, and it all depends on how good your line manager is. So I'm a line manager. Fortunately, I'm the lead union rep, so I'm hearts and minds. I'm people driven, but a lot of these other line managers are more facts, figures. I just want that person back into work.
Yeah,
which is where I would come into as a sort of a conduit between both, saying you can't expect them to come straight back into work. You need to bring them back in for a couple of hours, and then maybe sort of add an hour each week until they get back up to full time, because they haven't been out. Like, anxiety has been a huge issue, I think.
Well, you just don't know how they're going to react, do you? And like you said, they've been indoors for the best part of a year, and then suddenly they're thrown back into what supposedly is normal, what supposedly is back to the real world, and it's been a big adjustment for everyone. But if you haven't been out and haven't been to work for a year, that's going to be really tough, isn't it?
And also because I don't work in Tesco's. Someone could come back into my workplace and deal with Grenfell that first morning they're back at work, or deal with the London Bridge attacks, terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
So you have to put that anxiety on top of that anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's at the moment we still don't know what's going on. Like Noobs was saying about his father-in-law. So there's long COVID.
Yeah.
Is a thing, but at the moment because we're not far enough down the line, we don't know how long COVID is going to be. We don't know what the effects are going to be. It could be like glandular fever. It could affect you for the next 5 years. We don't know, and I know that's physical health, but reversely, that's meant that carries over to mental health as well. We don't know what it's going to be like, basically.
And it's that worry, isn't it? It's that worry of the unknown. You know, we're only just coming out of this supposedly, but then on top of that, we've got the India variant coming in, and you know, who knows what else. And you know, once the borders are fully open again, and I don't know. And I think that's part of it, isn't it? You know, supposedly on the 21st of June, we're back to normal. You know, we can do whatever you want, but how long that's going to be for? And I think people are still going to be worrying about, you know, are we going to go into a, you know, if something happens, we're going to go into another lockdown next winter. You know, is it going to hit in again? And we just don't know. And I think that adds to the uncertainty and the worry that goes on.
I'd be very surprised if we come out of lockdown in June.
Yeah, it's
very, very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They don't want to sort of start talking about not doing it because they know that people are going to be a bit sad about it. But yeah, Mark's putting up a good point here. You know, he's struggling with the thought of actually seeing lots of people at the moment. Lives on his own, and he's met, you know, not met more than 2 people since last March. Adrian, 45 Finch, his anxiety was bad over Christmas, dealing with trying to keep yourself safe and your family while keeping the pub safe, and at the same time people don't believe in it. Wife was vulnerable, looking after 6 vulnerable adults. It's, you know, it's a lot's gone on. Can I take you back a bit? You mentioned obviously that you have to deal with calls and people either about to commit suicide or have committed suicide. You know, how do you deal with that, and how do you switch off? If I don't think you can switch off, but you know, how do you come home and sort of get back to sort of normal family life when you've dealt with calls like that? Because that must affect you.
Music, clearly, humour. So I use humour as a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
All the time, probably to a fault. That's from sort of a long time. That's from when I was like growing up, like 10, 11 years of age. I worked out that I could either get involved in a fight or use humour to try and get out of it. And then once I had that sort of little moment, and then I realised the birds like a bit of humour as well. It was a done deal. But yeah, it's difficult.
My birds mean ladies, yeah.
Yeah. For sometimes you can't get over it. I dealt with Grenfell, and I watched people jumping out of windows to try and save themselves. It's horrendous, but there is detachment because I'm not actually physically there, so I can watch it on CCTV or I can watch it from helicopters or drones. But you're still seeing it, but it's still a little bit detached because it's a screen in front of you. Yeah,
it's a screen rather than you sitting in front of the tower and
But when it comes to it's the personal information. So say for argument's sake, we do find someone under a bridge hanging. It's when I start looking at who was this person, what was their name, have they got any family, and then it's when you start finding out the personal stuff around it that you realise. This isn't just a name that's done this. This is a person, an actual person that has come to the end of his road.
Yeah.
And for me, that has got to be the bravest thing that you can do as a person to end your life. But I don't want anyone to be brave. I just want them to give me a call. Like there was a thing, I can't remember, the Spandau Ballet singer, his son, Ronan, is it Ronan Kemp?
Yeah.
Done a thing on BBC about Arse twice.
Yeah, it was his son, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, you know, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And then you always ask, but are you okay?
Yeah.
That was a really interesting. I assume it's still on iPlayer. That was a really interesting show.
I just think that's a great bit of advice because it's bloody simple. We all ask you, like at work, you walk past someone in the hallway. You all right? Yeah, living the dream, and that's it, and that's all you get.
It's like I think we said before. I used to message people and I'd say, "Oh, hope you're okay." Almost like a sort of expectation. But now it's, "How are you?" It's a question. How are you? But again, generally people say, "Yeah, I'm good." Now if someone asks me straight away, the first thing, and it comes back to that opening up, doesn't it? And it's being in a position where you can be open and honest with whoever you're talking to, regardless of who they are. Because that you opening up a little bit and talking to the next person might make them open up a little bit and tell you about what's going on in their life, and then you actually have a real conversation. So much, I hate small talk. My wife tells me I'm no good at it, but it's just because it's just sort of superficial. I think certainly as men we're just like, right, okay, some people are into football, we're all into music, different people are into different stuff, but it's having that open conversation, and I think this is what hopefully is starting to happen a lot more now, and even just having this show, just talking to you like this, if it wasn't for Twitch and it wasn't for streaming, it wasn't for DJ, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. It's interesting, but I mean, what do you think in terms of how best we carry on with this? How do we encourage more people to be open about what's going on, and like you say, picking up the phone and talking to you rather than going through with whatever they're going to do?
Communication. I think communication is key. It's literally simple as that. Like, you've just hit the nail on the head. Ask someone, be genuine when you're asking them.
Yeah.
Listening is really important. Really important. And sometimes, as you hit the nail on the head, if you offer up and you show a little bit of yourself, first, some people are more inclined to sort of go, "Oh, right, okay, we can have this conversation." But it's difficult. It's really difficult because other people got their shit going on as well. So I think there's an intrinsic thing inside, especially us as British men, to turn around and think, Dave's got his own problems. What does he need me going and harping on about my problems to him?
Yeah.
And we need to get away from that. And I think we will, generationally, because I think my generation or our generation is leaps ahead of, say, our father's generations already.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think it's, and I'm hopeful that further down the line, like the Ronan Kemp, that sort of generation are again even more open, and they have these conversations. It's and like Mark Lancaster says, it's definitely better. Things are improving, and it's opening up. I was saying to Marky earlier, I've had a few people message me saying, I'd like to come on the show, and someone messaged me just the other day. I won't say who it is just yet because I'm not sure they're going to come on, but he was like, I've been through this, I haven't been felt brave enough to sort of say it in public or do it, but I've got through it, and I'd now like to sort of air it in public. So I want to tell my story because I think it could help someone. And it's having this forum and having the ability to be able to tell people, what's been going on and have a conversation. Just see what Funky Flavors is saying. The vast majority of people have got shit going on that you'd never know about, may not even be able to share it, but there's no judgment. It's just offer support and possible solutions.
Amen.
Yeah. Double P, I think it's a good one. My son is learning about it at school, so schools are aware of it, which is great. That's brilliant. If kids can be taught from, I think double P is 8. Sorry, double P. Minimal P is 8. If kids as young as that are being taught about mental health and how important it is, because they're taught about physical health. They've got PE, for God's sake. They should be having that. Tea Cakes, we notice our nephew's 25 and his friendships are far tighter than our generation. Yeah, that's probably very true, isn't it? It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if that also has something to do with the fact that they're in and out of each other's lives. I mean, I don't know if that generation are using social media in the way that we use. We're old farts, and we're all on Facebook and Twitch and all the rest of it. We've lost Danny's camera, so we'll go to Fatwax. We'll get you back on. But again, I don't know if they probably don't use social media quite in the way we do it, but because they're sort of in and out of each other's lives online, maybe that's why part of it is they know a bit more what's going on. Brilliant. Danny, you look much slimmer.
You've been on holiday?
The only way is Essex.
I've been to one of the green countries that you can go to. That's brilliant. Oh, he's gone. Another beer. What are you drinking there, Danny? Well, that's not 0%, is it? That's all.
Yeah.
Red Stripe 0. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It ends in a 0. We've done it. It's 4.7.
Yeah. Right, Marky. Yeah, we talked about COVID, and you don't have it today, which is great, and you haven't had it for a little while. But one of the effects you told us about was that you found you were stuttering as a result of COVID, and you described earlier about how you some days you just couldn't really get any words out. You couldn't talk. I mean, tell us about that and how that affected you.
Well, so obviously we got COVID beginning of November, I believe it was. And even though I say it was like 2 weeks of a hangover, it seemed to, you just seem to feel shit afterwards as well. Nothing, I didn't seem to come round from it. I was just so lethargic, more than noticeably lethargic. And it wasn't until just after Christmas when I was paralyzed.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
It was on the 27th, I believe it was on the 27th of December. We were just watching TV with the kids, watching a film, eating Christmas chocolates because you're allowed because it's Christmas. And no other time you're allowed to eat them but Christmas. And I had the after eights on my right hand side, and T said, "Pass the after eights," and I went, and I thought I couldn't move my left arm, and she just went, "What? Come on, greedy fatty, come on, pass us the chocolates." And I went, "Hang on a minute, I fucking can't move my arm. I'm being deadly serious here. I can't even feel it." And with that, I couldn't feel my legs, and I went, "Dal, I'm not being funny, but I really need you to phone." And she thought I was fucking about. The kids thought I was messing about, and within less than a minute, my body went, my right arm went, and I was just there on the sofa, head back. My voice went down, and I could just about talk. Within 5 minutes, we had the first responder in. About 5 minutes after that, the ambulance guys turned up. Obviously, the kids, my mum and dad have turned up. T didn't know what to do. She's phoned everybody, sort of thing. Obviously, this is real. I'm not fucking about, obviously. They're prodding, poking, asking me questions. I'm trying to answer. T's answering. And they've gone, "I think he's had a stroke." With that, I can only describe as I felt that my heart was literally going to thrash out my chest. It was going so fast, and I'm just there, and my arms are going all like this, and I'm just shaking. T's roaring, and I can't stop it. But half of me in my mind's thinking, well, I'm moving again, but this is wrong. And then they go in, right, he's having an heart attack, and it's like, fucking hell. And then all of a sudden I stop, and with that there's stretchers in, and they're piling me on a stretcher. Our local hospital doesn't deal with stroke victims, so they didn't know what to do. I've got 3 medics in the living room going, I don't know if he's having a stroke, I don't know if he's having an heart attack. Both sides have gone, so I'm not sure if it's a stroke, because a stroke's only supposed to be down one side. And it was just like, and then I'm whisked down to a place called Scunthorpe, where there's a unit for strokes. I still can't feel it, and by the time I'd got into the ambulance, the guy that's in the back of the ambulance with me is trying to ask me questions. By that time, I'd totally lost my speech. So the only thing I could do was blink. And so it's about half an hour to Scunthorpe. And I was kind of having a conversation with an ambulance guy to answer how I was whilst we was driving down there, was by blinking, because I couldn't like grip his hand for yes and that. I had to blink, yes, no answers, and that was it. And obviously COVID's all going on. T can't come with me, she's just been left there.
Yeah, of course. Jeez.
I'm just there on my own. T doesn't know anything. T's not, you can't just phone them up, and it was weird. It was that, and then we was when I was in hospital, I think I was completely, I couldn't move for about 6 hours, completely paralyzed for 6 hours. My voice started coming back. And I was able to answer some questions more in the hospital. Then they gave me a COVID test. Now, anybody who's had a COVID test, it has to go down your throat, a big fucking cotton bud down your throat and up your nose.
Yeah.
Well, after 6 hours, I had this COVID test, and it's the first time my arm moved. She shoved that fucking cotton bud so far up my nose, my arm just went, bah! I went, you bastard! And my arm just shot up, and it was the first movement. And she went, I'm really sorry, but I think that's progress in the way that you've moved. And I was like, fucking cowbag. And it was just like, I know, yeah, I agree, it's progress. It's the first time I've moved in 6 hours. That's brilliant, but fucking hell. I have honestly never felt anything quite like this cotton bud shooting right up your nose. It was, my eyes were streaming, but I still couldn't move. So I'm going, can you wipe me tears from my eyes, please, love? I can't see now, and it's just filled up with water. There was just that, and I'm just laid there, fucking still not moving. Fucking water going down my ears, and all she could do was apologise, obviously. She's just like, oh. So, with that, obviously I had everything. I had MRIs, CAT scans, everything. They couldn't find anything. I mean, they did me top to toe to find out if it was anything to do with my back or my knee, anything that could have nerve trapped or anything, and everything came back nothing. They put me on a ward, get yourself some sleep. This was the next day by this time, and I started moving a little bit. I could kind of move my arms, but not, I wasn't moving as such, sort of thing, very robotic kind of thing. And then it got to the next day, and 1:30 in the morning, I just got this bloke running in going, we've got to move you. I was fast asleep. I was like, what's up? He went, they've decided that you've had a stroke and you've got to be moved now to the stroke ward. And it's just like, because I was in like an A&E ward.
Right.
And we need your bed. We need this room. And it's just like, right. And he just lifted me out of this bed, chucked me in this wheelchair, wheeled me. I'm still like, I didn't know where the fuck I was. I just woke up. Gets into this ward and he goes, I brought him. You're supposed to have a bed for him. And it's just like, they went, we ain't got any room. And he went, well, he's got to go somewhere. And it's just like, stick him in that room there. And so he stuck me in this room and there was no fucking bed. And so this nurse comes through and she goes, we'll sort you a bed out. And I'm like, well, yeah, that would be nice. You just have to stay in the chair. And it's like, well, I'm not really going anywhere anyway, am I? I ain't got fucking much choice. And so I was sat in this chair, no bed. Obviously, no one's allowed to come and see me. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's complete COVID after the Christmas kind of thing anyway. So no one's walking around. And then a bed come. And then I was in there for another 2.5 days. Whilst the prod poked me, stuck me for more scans, more MRI, because they couldn't find out. And they still, to this day, have no idea. And they put it down to stress and anxiety.
Yeah. I was going to say it sounds like an anxiety attack.
I assume you've dealt with quite a lot of those, Danny. Do you reckon?
Yeah. I've had one myself, actually.
Okay.
But a long time ago, like it was the night for my granddad's funeral, and right. I had exactly what Noobs has just said, exactly the same, and they wanted to take me away to hospital, but I was like, no, I'm all right, and I just felt freezing cold and shaking, nowhere at the extent of Noobs, like I didn't get any paralysis or anything.
Yeah.
Everything, it just sounds like an anxiety attack.
Yeah. But going back to the speech thing, when I started moving around and stuff, and then I started I ended up with this stutter, and it 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, obviously, I'm not known for being a talkative person on the mic with Twitch or anything like that anyway. And that's mainly because I have good days and bad days. I mean, touch wood, like I said to you earlier, the last one I had was about 4 weeks ago. And it was on a Saturday. And I just couldn't get a word out. Just nothing. Just stood there and trying to tell T if she wanted a drink. And fuck it, and I text her. And I just sent the text just saying,
T.
Yeah, vocals gone again. That's when it comes back and that. And I spent a day in the shed just pottering around and doing old fart things in the garage kind of thing. And
it's quite scary, isn't it? Just not being able to.
But I've never done it. 48. I've never had a stutter in any capacity, but since that Christmas, through COVID, but I mean, T's really good at reading stuff. She reads and reads everything, and she looked into the symptoms and what have you. And again, the long COVID thing was the only thing, and she joined this site, and she was filling in little details about what was happening with me, and if anybody else had this. And there was a doctor that was trying to keep like this note of people that have had COVID, and then something that had happened to them after COVID, whatever it was. And there was one woman who this had happened to 3 times, not full paralysis. The legs would go, or her upper part of her body would go, completely paralysis. And
brilliant. To say goodbye to Spalansky.
Oh,
That's
fucking brilliant.
If anyone doesn't know,
that is absolutely amazing.
If anyone doesn't know, so Marky's had a few gremlins along the way with Twitch, and he posted up today. So, I've just bought this. I've just bought this audio hardware that's going to make it better. Anyone tell me how to work it? And then we get Mojax coming and saying, "Yeah, that's an audio output. That's not going to work." But yeah, that's class, Adrian. Well done, mate. That's cool. But yeah, well, that's lighten the mood. But yeah, but I mean that's what, like we said earlier, Danny. You know, it's humour, isn't it? And it's things like this that sort of get you through. You know, there's a lot of shit that goes on in all our lives.
You got to have a sense of humour. I mean, I know you know I've got a sense of humour. You saw my wife earlier.
Yeah.
She just walked into the fridge.
Was it in your stream that she was sneaking, trying to sneak past,
crawled out?
Yeah, crawled out into the conservatory or something. Big up DJ Cruz. We got a solution. Solution is a £20 Behringer. If anyone needs an audio input rather than audio output. But yeah, comedy and like you say, music. So obviously, you know, laughing it fires up, you know, the endorphins and gets you going. You know, it's the same with music. I mean, why do you think music is so good at lifting your spirits? We'll come back to Fatwax45 in a minute, but you know, what is it about music for you that makes you sort of be able to escape what's going on?
It's just that release, I think. It's just emotional, you know. I mean, taking it right back, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but taking it right back to the tribal essence when we would live in caves. You know, there was music.
Not that old, Danny.
Yeah, no, not as old as noobs, but
Not
far off.
Around.
But you know what I mean? Like, taking it back to that, there is a song for every occasion. Literally every occasion. There's songs that will make me cry within about 16 bars. Mm-hmm. And, you know, tears of sadness. And there's songs that bring me up within the same amount of time. So, yeah, it's one thing. I think one thing about Twitch, other than the music aspect, is also tied in with the community aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
It's a perfect marriage in that respect. My wife just said, "What do I know about a perfect marriage?"
Why is she not in the chat? She needs to be in the chat making all these comments.
No.
Here we go. Kate, can you get him a drink, please? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it definitely is the community thing. I mean, I'm not going to diss Mixcloud because it has its own value and it's a different platform. But I was watching a stream a little while ago on Mixcloud, and it's the music's really good. And you know, I was trying to get involved in the chat and trying to see, you know, but the chat just isn't there, and I don't know why the community just isn't there on Mixcloud, and it is on Twitch. I don't know if it's the whole. Because in Twitch you can raid, you can host, you can share, you can follow. You know, you've got raid trains and all of that, and that's part of it. And it's always like, you know, go follow this DJ, go follow that DJ. It's very much non-egotistical at all. You know, you wouldn't ever go to a club necessarily and say, oh yeah, go to that other club room or go to that other room and go and follow that DJ or whatever. So it is community, and it's amazing. We've all made really good friends. You know, and you know, hopefully once we can, we'll all be meeting up at some point in real life, you know, later this year, and hopefully spinning some 45s together at some point. Which is a nice little segue into the 45s that lift your spirits. It's a question that Mark Lancaster put in the chat, I think the first one. So, Danny, you're on the screen, you know. Do you want to go first with have you got 3 45 lift your spirits? You can tell us about them and why you like them.
Yeah, why not? So, firstly, and my favourite today, because I haven't got a favourite song, that's impossible, is Change, Hold Tight.
Okay, yeah.
If you don't know that, where have you been since it was released in 1981? It's an amazing record. Literally, that record within the first 8 bars, I'm ready to dance. That record's amazing. If you don't own that, you need to get that.
How long have you owned it for, do you reckon?
Yeah, not long. About 3 years.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't find one. So,
is there going to be a mad Discogs rush like there is when we all watch Wednesdays on Wax?
possibly, but they don't come up that often on Discogs, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a few years to get it, but it's what a record. What an amazing record. I like Change anyway, but that record is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Number 2.
Moving on. Zap.
Yeah.
More bounce to the ounce.
Ah, of course. That is, that's a classic.
Self-explanatory. Absolute classic.
Is that where you got your name from?
No, actually, it's because when I first started DJing, I sent out a couple of tapes to local sort of clubs and promoters, and then one of them, only one, came back and said, "Yeah, we definitely want to get you on. We're doing this night, and we want to put you on the flyer. What's your name?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I didn't have a name." And at the time, I was working as a stock manager in Safeways, the old supermarket.
Yeah.
And there was a Roger Hargreaves bookcase.
Okay.
And I saw Mr. Bounce. So for a long time, my name was just Mr. Bounce for years.
Yeah.
And then I sort of fell out of love with records, really. When Serato hit, I stopped buying records, stopped being involved in records, and just had the digital thing. And then when I sort of come back into it, I thought, I'm a bit old to be Mr. Bounce. So I'll be Danny Bounce.
Mr. Old.
It's a bit more personable, yeah. Mr. Miserable Old Bastard. So I thought, it's a bit more personable. But randomly, people still will come in my chat.
Oh, where's he
I have no idea that used to be my DJ name. Anyway, yeah.
Mr. Bounce.
Mr. Bounce, that is good.
And finally...
Hold on, we're losing you a little bit on the screen.
Yeah, froze.
You're frozen. Mr. Freeze, there you go. Oh, I see you.
Here.
There we go.
Here we go. Yeah, go on. Doubles.
Do what you like.
2 variations.
Well, triples because you got the remix.
Yeah. Packet Man.
Sex Packets changed my life. Like that album.
Yeah.
It was one of the most amazing albums ever. I'm totally and utterly gutted about Shock G.
Yeah.
Totally. I've been singing that guy's praises for decades. He's a massive talent. That is music that is just for fun. I love my Mobb Deep. I love my Nas. I love my grimy stuff. But sometimes you just need a bit of light-hearted fun.
Yeah,
and that's what Digital Underground were. And especially Do What You Like. And I think Do What You Like as well as a message is just do what you like. Do what makes you happy. That should be your number one rule in life. Just do what you like. Do what makes you happy. We have to conform in some respects. You have to pay taxes. Well, you don't have to, but...
Not everyone, but most do.
Yeah, unless you're Jimmy Carr. But, just do what you like. And I think Twitch has been like that. But also, and I want to sort of throw this in as a bit of a curveball.
Go on then.
I think Twitch as well is a bit of a double-edged sword sometimes.
Yeah.
So, as much as I love being on Twitch, in equal measure, I hate being on Twitch. As much as I love the community on Twitch, I also get a bit anxious when I know that, say if I know that someone's on, and I know that they watched me last week, but I can't watch them this week because I'm at work, or I'm at home doing family stuff, I'm just sitting there thinking, I just feel like I've let them down. I'm not there. They're always listening to me, but I haven't got the opportunity to listen to them, and then that caused me a bit of anxiety.
I did that last night.
Yeah. You messaged me, didn't you? And you said, "Oh my God, sorry, I forgot." It's like I get it. I get it. But even though I get it, it makes me feel like that. So I took this past sort of 4 weeks. I've really sort of stepped back a little bit from Twitch in terms of watching.
Yeah.
Because some nights I'd be watching Twitch all night.
Yeah.
And then if I'd have a set, I'd sort of prep for the set or dig for that set. And like my wife said, like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're doing a 1 hour set, but you're picking records for 4 hours. You're playing a 1 hour set, and then you're watching 3 hours of the raid. And I'm like, like, totally. And it's you have to strike that balance. So don't do what you like. Do what your wife will let you do.
I totally get it. I mean, obviously the last year I've spent so much time running streams and watching streams and DJing on streams, and it's just constant. And like you say, you know, especially if you're part of a raid event, you know, you feel like you need to be there. You feel like you're letting down if you're not there. Not necessarily all of it, but you know, you feel like you're going to be part of it, and it's But we've also got to strike, like you say, strike a balance, because obviously real life is starting to kick in a little bit. But yeah, you can't watch everything. You know, Twitch is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, 360. It's the never-ending DJ festival. You know, if you didn't have anything else to do, you could just sit in front of it. But TK's telling you that's the right answer, Danny.
Listen, T, for what you've been through, and you do what you want. Simple as that.
I'm just going to pick up on something, Danny. You said, I think probably like a lot of us, we probably all started playing vinyl CDJs or whatever, and I certainly did vinyl CDJs and then moved into digital and then obviously got back into vinyl. So what was it that got you back off Serato and then back into vinyl again?
2 things. I got bored.
Yeah.
And too much choice. So we started, and I know if Jim's still here, I've had this conversation with Jim, and a lot of us that moved away started getting into like Baltimore house, fidget, bit of dubstep. We started experimenting a little bit with different sort of styles, sort of when Diplo started coming out.
Yeah.
But you would go to the club with your laptop, and all of a sudden, I wouldn't have 3 crates, which I knew inside out. I'd have 20,000 records.
Yeah.
And sometimes too much choice is not a good thing.
Yeah. Totally.
So I started getting a bit bored, really. Yeah. And then I signed up for Instagram. And then when I signed up for Instagram, I started putting a few records on, and I started seeing other people's records. In fact, that's how me and Noobs met on Instagram.
Okay.
8 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
We were just sharing records, and then I got back into it, and then I started buying again, and then and it rolled on from there. And I think that's probably why. Yeah, yes, that is definitely why. It's just it was just too much choice. You get laptop face, just like in the club DJing like this.
Yeah, you're just constantly looking at your laptop, and people think you're just looking at your emails, aren't you? And it's that's not what it's about, is it? And it's again, it's having the physicality of, you know, the record and putting it on and putting a needle and, you know, it's just that. Jim's still here, and Jim's going to be on the show on Sunday night. I'm really looking forward to chatting to Jim. And like he says, saying no is okay. You know, you have to do what makes you happy. That's so important. Right. And yeah, like TT said, you know, it's nice playing digital every now and again, but I think a lot of us have probably gone past that now, haven't we? Because we're so into the vinyl and certainly 45's culture. It's I haven't done a digital set for a while, but it'd be nice to go back to.
Yeah, I've done one Friday.
You did one every day, didn't you?
For Shambra, and I loved it.
I think you just DJ in a different way, don't you? You know, it's.
Yeah, well, I try and keep it the same in terms of flipping in and out of records anyway, because I pretty much do that anyway. But it was just nice to play something a bit different.
Yeah.
I know. I think she's gone out of the room now. I know, like, I haven't got enough records. And sometimes I need more records, because when I get the new records, that sort of sparks something off. So there'll be records I've bought 5 years ago that I've never played. But then I'll buy one record this week and I'll be like, right, yes, that's what I've been waiting for, that to play this, to play that, and then it works like that. So sometimes I just get I look at them records and I think, and I'm not like Noobs. Noobs is like the king of organisational skills. All his stuff is labelled, like immaculately labelled.
There's a reason for that.
My stuff is like literally like I might put a bit of pencil on. I don't think you can see that. And it's just like
is that 105?
105, and that's it. That'll be me. Yeah, 105. If I can write on the label, if I can be bothered. But then it's not together. So there'll be it's not like I've got a crate of. Because I know Tommy T. He'll have crates and he'll have 100 to 110, 110 to 120.
He's got the time.
Yeah. No.
But that's why he can then do a set for 45 Raiders and do like 45s in 15 minutes. You know, it's all the same, he knows. But yeah, I mean, we're all different, you know. And I'm like you. I'll buy records and I'll buy a part and it'll be there. And then, like you say, I'll suddenly think, okay, yeah, that works with that mix and that'll work with that mix. And it's really interesting stuff. Yeah, Funky Flavors. Miss all the tech, but happy with the vinyl. You know, I knew I'd never stop buying digital. Physical vinyl keeps me honest. And we've Air Adam's going to start BPM in 45s. He's playing on the Raid train at the weekend. Fatwax.
Yeah.
I think you said you might have more than 3. You got more than 3?
Yeah. Right. What I'm going to do is, when I was when I was little, I don't know if anyone knows this story or not. I never had the conventional toy. I didn't carry around a teddy bear or a blanket or anything like that. I carried around records, 7-inch records. I wouldn't leave the house without carrying my records. I wouldn't, and I had 3 7-inch records that I used to carry around. It was Supertramp, Dreamer, Supertramp, Breakfast in America, and it used to also be the Motors, which I couldn't find, but I have got it here somewhere. It was the Motors Airport, and I used to carry them around as a little kid everywhere. And back in the 70s, everybody had a record player. So if my mum was visiting her friends, or I was going to my nana's or anything like that, I used to just let him on the record player, and I'd just play me 3 records or whatever records I'd grabbed, and go and play on the record player. And that was me. That was me, happy little kid, and that's all I did as a little kid, played records. And so, but Dreamer is probably one of my all-time favourite records from being a kid as well. So I do like to stick it in a bit of if I'm doing an AOR set, or a Yacht Rocky kind of set. Love it. So that was kind of one.
I'm going to pause you there, because I remember where you told that story. That was on your they came and filmed you for Grimsby, didn't they? They were doing Grimsby. So how did that little show come about, and how did you get involved in that?
It was a show called Made in Grimsby. There's a woman that I used to do Fatwax Live before I was Fatwax45. Fatwax was actually a night in Cleethorpes that I ran with a load of local DJs, and it was all vinyl. I ran it for about 7 years, and it started out once a month, then it went to about every fortnight, and I stopped it when the smoking ban came in, because it just segregated huge the crowd. I mean, we ended up having it got that big. We kind of had an upstairs and a downstairs, and we ended up taking both floors. So we'd have DJs upstairs, DJs downstairs, playing different genres and different things, and you could move to whichever you want. But when the smoking ban came in, you didn't realise how many people smoked, and most of everybody went outside, and I just felt like, well, this is weird. We've got DJs playing great music, and everybody's kind of outside smoking, and the people that aren't smoking are with the mates smoking that are outside.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you've got like 10 people in a place that's holding 100 people, and it's just like, fuck this. And I just cancelled it. It was not, it wasn't worth doing.
No.
And I've totally lost my train of thought, which is something else that I do.
You'd say, so that's how you got to know this lady who then I think approached you for Made in Grimsby?
So she did Fatwax live with me. So she was really good at she works for the Arts Council. So she does all sorts of different things, and she was able to get us live bands down here with Arts Council money and stuff like that. So
that's good.
We moved from just DJs to DJs playing before and after, and we had Nostalgia 77, Carly and Anderson, Big Daddy Moochin. We tried to get breakthroughs, all that kind of.
Oh, wow, that would be amazing.
About 2000, and then this is when like the Seven started coming through with Shadow and Cut Chemist, and all that sort of these funk bands these new funk bands coming through in 2000. So we ended up First Weird Records had just started up as well, so we was getting all their house bands coming down playing the Arts Council.
The Arts Council, Jim.
I could be on that board of directors. That sounds like a job for Bounce.
Bouncing that ass. So she kept on with the Arts Council, and she goes. I
can't unhear it now.
We can't exactly. Yeah, Jim's heard it.
So she does things through the Arts Council, and this is one of the things of bringing what she thought was talent from the area in any kind of art form to the forefront. I don't know why she chose me now, thinking about it.
It was good though, really good. And again, you just talked about music and why it inspires you and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, records has always been in my. I mean, my dad was a massive record collector. We had records everywhere in our house, hundreds and hundreds of LPs everywhere from being born. So I've always been around them, and I've never not been around them. I did have that, like you say, that digital when Serato first came out. I did get into Serato for a while, but like you say, it just got boring, and like you had everything just there, and the screen face, and just looking at it, and you just troll through it, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, I've lost my train of thought because I'm just scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of.
And then you just pick something just to have something.
And then you just end up picking something, and you think, well, that was shit. What did I pick that for? And that's because you end up like looking through all this stuff and it was just like, no, it just never had an appeal to me. And then it was just like, nah, back to vinyl. And it was.
It's just the simplicity of 45s as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
generally one track on each side, and maybe if it's a 33, you might have two, but you know what you're going to put on and play it.
I mean, with regarding the playing, so there's a company around here, the charity called Jippo. It's to do with kids, BMXs and all that sort of scooters and all that sort of thing, and they've got like these BMX tracks and stuff. I can't remember what it's giving young people opportunities. Jippo, that's what it stood for. And they asked me to DJ one time, and I turned up with vinyl, and they said, "There's all these young kids playing, so can you keep the cussing down to a minimum and no swearing?" And so I was like, yeah. But like with 12-inch singles, the radio edit sometimes wasn't where the other edit's supposed to be. So all of a sudden you're playing what says the radio edit, and it's the uncut edit, and all of a sudden you've got effing B in, N in, and all this sort of stuff, and you're like, sorry, quick mix, get into something else, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
I'm not sure kids are that bothered these days. I mean, we had Sunday Get Down played on the 45 Kids, and I had a message from their dad saying, "Oh, you know, do we have to play all the clean edits, or you know, is it all right if any of the tunes have got swearing?" And I was like, I don't care. You know, play what you want.
You're their dad.
Well, exactly. It's like, I mean, I know we got kids watching, but it's, you know, at the end of the day, they're playing hip hop. Obviously, you can't censor, because you'd be censoring pretty much every hip hop track ever made.
Yeah.
And it's swear words, I don't think have quite the same effect. Obviously, certain ones do, but I don't think swear words quite have such an effect or so much power as they did maybe when we were kids. You know, if you did a swear word, you've got, you know, clip around the ear or whatever. You know, I don't think kids now, you know, it's not a big deal.
Everywhere, aren't they?
Exactly.
And you can't do that because you get arrested.
Well, there is that as well. Yeah. So they can play what they want, play whatever they want. Right. Let's get back to your 45s then. So that was 3 in 1 or 2 in 1?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was that. Then the next one is.
Yeah. Classic.
Somebody asked me, and it's like you say, it's such a hard. It's such a hard thing to choose your favourite hip hop track, your favourite or whatever. And with that, it's not that hard. There's nothing. The first time I heard it, when I watched the film, just that opening bass, it's just like, yeah, you're hooked, you're there, and it is for me. And Funky Flavor, it's the Japanese press. I did get hold of that when that first came out, which I was more than happy with until the Japanese press came out. And like Finch says, it does tick every box in the hip hop of that. And even now, I can still quite happily play that 24/7 and still think it's fucking brilliant.
Noobs, can I just come in? Can you show everyone the is it the 5 Boroughs one?
Yeah.
Let's have a close up of what you do for all of your 45s with the title and the BPM and everything.
The printed out sticker on it.
Look at this shit. Holy, I respect. I've got so much respect for that.
Let's get this in different colours. You got 3 different colours going on there, have you?
Yeah, I have 3 different
writing in the bottom.
Yeah, it says 5 Boroughs breaks 002. So, right, there's on some of the right.
The label. Do you need to put that on the sticker as well?
No, right. This is the thing, right? I've got I can't even remember what it's called. I've got a bad back basically, and I've been on tablets now for 5-6 years. I take 20 something tablets a day. Sometimes I can move in the morning, sometimes I can't. But my memory is shot to shit. So I now use those, and the red is for the artist, the black is for the title, the blue is written just to remember certain things, samples, for me to do things, because I struggle so much now remembering stuff that was so easy. I used to be able to name, and people used to phone me just going, "Oh, who was the original sample for this? Who did the original sample for that?" And I'd just go, yeah. Now, sorry, mate, fucking Google it. I can't remember. And I've lost it. Absolutely. It ends me as well. I mean, it absolutely ends me to have had so much knowledge and then not to remember a lot of things.
Do you still remember obviously listening to the song? Does that still remind you? And
yeah, but then I still go, oh yeah, and I'll get the thing is, I'll get the good thing about the vinyl as well is that I'll remember the picture, the center.
Yeah. Okay.
So then it's a case of like, it's on, and then I can't remember the label, and then I'll go, no, it's brown, it's got a red on it, and then I'll have to go and look for it, and then which is a right laugh looking through this lot. And then I go, right, that's that. So I'll then label that one and then try and put them together. And then that's how I start putting them all together in that kind of way. It's a long process, but it's the only one that works for me.
Yeah, but it's interesting, obviously the sound and also the label, it's really important. But
yeah, I have to do it. It's a head that's shot to shit, to be fair. So
it's tough, man.
Yeah, but and that's
you're still here and talking to us, and that's all good.
I think that's the one thing I liked about DJing on Twitch as well is that I am able to kind of do that sort of like on the fly in my house when I'm playing on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. And I mean, I've done the odd pop-up and stuff like that, which has been great to do. But and that's why I can't put sets together, because I can't work it out, which I should be able to. It should work that way. That I should be able to put a set together using coloured labels. But it doesn't work that way.
No, Twitch doesn't really work that way either, because it's not like you're going to DJ at a club and you're being expected to make punters dance, or at the end of the day, what do we? At the end of the day, we play 45s, and that's the only requirement.
Yeah.
If it's on a 45, play whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You just play music.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a great format. Double P's bigging you up. Your sets are always dope, and I agree. I really love your sets. It's really good.
Noobs is massively humble and modest. His knowledge is fucking amazing, and he's put me onto so many records. Like, we've got a WhatsApp chat, and and he's personally sent me stuff that I've been after for ages, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a spare copy of that." And he's a top boy, and he's being modest. His sets are fucking.
They're really good.
Fuck. Yeah,
they're really good, and it's every Saturday. Every Saturday's a great set. And it's tough to have that quality every week.
Thank you.
Right, let's move on. What else have you got?
So I went back to my rave days.
Yes.
Yeah, classic. Look at that cover. That's so good.
So obviously, B-side wins again.
Yeah.
The Phantom. So I've taken that record since I bought that on a 12-inch. I have had that record in every 12-inch box I have ever taken out, and every 7-inch box I have taken out, I will try and play that record somewhere, no matter what. There's just something. Same with the bass in Juice. There's just something about hearing it coming in, mixing it in, and then you just hear that coming in, and then and it's just like, that's me, off me nut. 18 years old, 17 years old, absolutely. Eyes just raving my bell bottoms off. So
stay away from drugs, kids.
Yeah. Who knows what?
We're doing an 80s show soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
We should do a 90s rave set on Coffee and Donuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my obviously that's on my first ever digital
45 days,
I've ever done for 45 Day. Yeah. I've never ever done a digital recording before ever. Last thing I ever recorded was on a mini disc.
Wow, going back a bit. I've got lots of mini discs knocking about.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't do them. I've got to do 2 more by the end of the month.
You're going to do another one for me, I think, for the radio show.
Yeah. I've got one for you for the 45 Day, and I've got to do
radio show. Yeah,
it's only taken me 2 years, but I have actually got to do one for the 45 Kings.
Co-founder of the 45 Kings.
Co-founder of the 45 Kings on the mixtapes. Has he ever done one? Has he fuck?
No.
It's
a different vibe, isn't it? You know, his recording and mix is different. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think with that as well. I mean, every record that I put on that, I just had the biggest smile on my face.
That's what it's all about.
Playing those records, and I mean, to find some of them as well is an absolute fucking. I mean,
45 as well.
Yeah, I mean, rhythm is rhythm. You try and find rhythm is rhythm on 7-inch. I mean, talking that, I've been lucky. I found 2, and Danny's actually got the other copy.
Man, I was so happy.
But again, it's sharing love, isn't it? It's sharing the love of music, and some people just hang on to those 2 copies, but you're like, no, I'm going to give it to my mate because it's going to make him equally as happy as it makes me to play it.
Yeah, and when I played the first time I played it, brilliant.
Stand there like a Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
I found it on eBay, and it was just literally by fluke. And I thought, I knew that Danny wanted it, and I thought, if he's at work, he's going to miss the bid. He's going to do this, so I just bid it, won it, and then I just texted him and just went, "I've got something that you might really want." And he went, "What?" I went, "Got a copy of Rhythm is Rhythm on 7." Have you? Yeah. It's a spare. Do you want it? Fucking how much do you want me to put in your bank?
Thanks for being in NT2 Funk.
Yeah, it's then again, that's it. It's great to share as well. I mean, you don't need 2 copies of that.
No.
There's no reason to own 2 copies of that at all.
I've got 3, but I'm only going to do 1 because I know we're getting close to like 2 hours, and then we've still got 1 more bit to do. I've told the story, but Sideshow asked what this story was the other day because I mentioned it to him. So you probably heard this before, but I bought a 45 off Sam Twigs, Mr. Partner, Twitch partner, and he gave me a free 45 that came in it, and it's Mr. Cliff Richard.
And I played that on Coffee and Donuts, didn't you?
I've played about 10 seconds of it. In donuts, but again, it lifts my spirits because it's just a great little story. Yeah. Buy record on Sam and get this rubbish, but anyway. Right, we're going to move on to the last section. While we're doing this, if anyone's got any questions for me, Danny, or Mark, then just drop them in the chat. Right, so this is Confectionery Corner, one of my favourite bits of the show. Danny, what have you got for us today? Anything interesting? Any classics?
Just before we do that quickly,
go on.
Noob's just talking about his postman.
Oh yeah.
Earlier on about records. Yeah, see if it works. Right, so my postman brings my records and brought me them this week.
Wow.
I want rid of this lot. Do you want them? I know you like records.
Brilliant.
I'll put some of them on my Instagram, but it's Liquid Swords, Jizza.
Wow.
Only built for Cuban links, all originals. Biggie Smalls' first album.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Wow. We just gave them to you.
No, I paid them. Paid for them.
Okay.
But if I sell one, I'm good.
What are you starting the bidding on then? Are we going to do a live auction?
No. I will let go. I'll probably sell some. I'm probably going to give some away because I want to pay that forward.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the thing. Karma. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100% record karma. Right. Anyway, they're a bit boring.
In your packet of nice biscuits.
Munchies.
Oh.
They're good. They are good.
Yeah, man.
They are good.
Old school.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can buy them. So I remember as a kid they would come in a
square packet.
Yeah,
like a tube thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't.
I don't know if you can buy them now. I've seen them in those pouches, but they used to be square. I think they're a bit bigger, weren't they? Than obviously everything's bigger in the old days because we were smaller. But
no, they've made stuff smaller. Definitely, my penis used to be bigger.
You were talking about the size of your mic earlier on.
Picnic.
Yeah, picnic.
Love a picnic. Love a picnic. Just reminds me of coming home from school and we'd have a picnic. I don't know if anyone knows picnics. Probably if you're in the UK. Though.
Hold on. Hold it a minute, Danny. So the mint ones were boss. They definitely were. But Tea-Cat, I don't know if I've seen it. The white chocolate munchies. I don't know
about that.
Yeah.
Remember the mint
ones? You got them there, Dal? I bought tea. They do different flavours of munchies now. They do white chocolate munchies and chocolate.
Back. I've nearly finished them.
Oh, here we go.
What's the other ones that you have? I got you some
chocolate brownie.
Chocolate brownie ones.
Oh, they sound good. Chocolate brownie munchies.
Yeah, I've had some of them before.
Yeah.
We need to get tea on this show for this section.
Yeah.
Right, back to Danny.
So wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I do like a double decker.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for, and it's not what it is.
Mini eggs.
Not the mini eggs. Cadbury's chocolate Easter eggs.
Yeah.
There's something about Cadbury's chocolate when it's wafer thin like that. Give me one of these and a bottle of red wine. I'm yours.
Do you put the red wine into the chocolate egg and use it as a...
I haven't, but that could sound like a chocolatey, fondant-y chalice of love.
I guess you get the mini eggs mug that comes with the Easter egg.
I might do that, but it might melt a bit. I might have to do it in the bath. I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, Twitch or banner. Funky flavours, I'm totally with you on that. Eat the top of the double decker.
Which tastes like the old Texan bar.
Oh, Texan bar. I can't remember what that is now.
No, it used to be in an orange wrapper, and it's basically the top of a double decker covered in chocolate. Yeah, and it was called a Texan.
Sounds borderline racist if it's a Texan.
That's what it was.
I've never heard of it.
No, it's bypassed me.
I'm not that old.
I don't.
Did you? Was this pre-decimalisation?
It might have been. Yeah.
Anyone? Oh, here we go. No, here we go. Look,
right yay!
Mark Lancaster.
Yeah.
They're all about your age.
We're gonna have to Google that later.
Yeah. Texans bar. Texan.
Oh, and double P as well. One for the old boys. Yeah. We're all old boys.
Yeah.
Right. What have you got then, Marky?
Right. I got Yorkie.
I like the standard Yorkies. I'm not a big fan of raisin.
I like the raisin and biscuit. But can you remember their slogan that they used to have on the bars?
Yeah, it's not for girls.
It's not for girls, yeah.
Not for girls.
Oh. You wouldn't get away with that now.
No. I don't know how they really go. But yeah, it
It'll be
used to
70.
say in big letters on the side, not for girls.
Yeah.
How they got away with that, that's bad. So, I too can't go wrong with the picnic.
Nah.
And then a hazelnut in every bite.
Chocolates are good. Yeah.
Old
Chocolates
school.
are good.
Yeah.
These chocolates have been around forever. There's a reason for it. Because they're so good.
A hazelnut in every bite.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still says it on the pack. Well, I'm pretty sure that was their advert slogan thing.
I've never had a topic.
Is
Never had
that
one.
still a hazelnut in every bite now, or was that back in the 70s?
I don't know. I've not had one for a while, and I was quite chuffed to bits when I found them in the old B&M snack shop.
Yeah, so B&M, if no one's been, B&M has obviously done a good trade from us since we had Mr. Rob on talking about violet crumbles.
Not violent.
Not violent.
No.
We'll come back to you in a minute, Danny, about something in a minute. B&M comes through with great.
Hazelnut in every bite.
Yeah.
Squirrel shit.
Brilliant. Is that it, Mark, here, or have you got any more?
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. We can come back to you in a minute.
The only other thing that I'm addicted to,
Yeah.
Cocaine.
I had to come off cocaine. Hit the midget gems hard.
Midget gems are good. They are.
But they have to be these ones. I don't like them Lions ones. They make your mouth all claggy.
Some are good and some are not good. When you get the really dodgy ones and then you pull one out and it's like 6 midget gems sort of stuck together in some sort of weird alien sort of like sweet. But
is that terminology that we can use now, or is that not part of cancel culture? Can we say midget gem?
I don't know.
That's a good point.
Small gems.
I don't know if we can even say that. It should just be gems.
Perfectly formed gems. There are bigger gems available, but these gems are smaller than average.
Gems. Is that?
Would they ever make giant gems? Is there such?
I've got no idea. I'm not even sure why they call them midget. Yeah, I mean, fuck knows.
Is that the last one?
That is my stash drawer. Yeah.
That is a great selection. So I was supposed to have 2, but my daughter ate the last one. And I was like, what? I was saving these for my show. She's like, what do you mean saving for my show? They're sweet. They're for me. So coconut mushrooms. I picked them up today. And I was like, it was in a charity shop and a bit of a bag like you had. And I was like, I've got to get some of those. And they are still really good. Still really good. And then these are new, but obviously because we...
What's inside the mushroom bit? That what makes the mushroom? It's not obviously a mushroom.
It's like it's a bit like marshmallowy, brown marshmallow, and then it's got coconut, desiccated coconut, and then the bit in the middle is like the white bit you get in licorice all sorts. You know, the sort of white flat bit.
Oh, right, okay.
Layers.
Not
So
the type of mushrooms you're used to, noobs.
No, I was just going to say, how long do they last for? Just out of curiosity.
Well, they didn't last until today. I only got them on the other day. But, and then, she's left me one of these, which is kind of her. So these are Jaffa Joe Nuts.
Oh.
And bearing in mind we play 45 and donuts, so it's basically you can just about see. So it's like a big Jaffa cake with like Jaffa in the middle, and then a chocolate on top. And they come in individual pack, very COVID friendly. If you want to share them with your friends.
Oh.
And they're quite good. They're really good.
Oh, you got some.
Oh, you got a normal Jaffa cake.
Oh no, we got donuts.
All right.
Mini donuts.
Mini donuts.
Brilliant. Right. I'll come back to 1 minute. Has anyone got any questions before we almost wrap up? Not at the moment. And, I've got to thank Mark Lancaster because he came up with this sort of idea of the 45s that lift your spirits. Danny, you're responsible for Confectionery Corner.
Oh, was that Michael? Was it?
Yeah. Is your wife still around? Because it was her question about whether they're nice or neat biscuits that got us talking about sweets.
Yeah, it sort of only works in written text.
Exactly. Hey, Stay Cruising. How you doing? Right.
Yeah, I didn't get into the biscuit saga because my jammy Dodgers, I think I'd have to go for, and chocolate hobnobs.
Yeah, they're both good. They make those mini jammy Dodgers. They're just not quite enough. They're too small.
They're great for the little ones. I don't mind giving the little ones them little ones because I think they're great, and Albert thinks they're so cute. So
they're like them sort of mini ice rings, but
they're just terrible to give to a kid. Jesus.
Yeah.
Give them a packet of them rings.
They're mini though. They're only small, only little ones. Not a whole packet of party rings.
They do little baby ones.
Yeah, they do mini ones. Yeah, really mini ones, about that big.
Oh right, I've not seen them.
Yeah. Right. I think everyone's cool in the chat, so thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been great. Thank you again. It's been great chatting to you. Almost 2 hours in, and it's been really good fun. I better finish Queen and Slim from last year, Getting Evils. I don't know what's Queen and Slim. I don't know what that is. Is that a TV show?
Queen and Slim.
Yeah, I don't know. Stay cruising. Don't worry, it will be on Twitch for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks,
just to let you know a few things that are coming up, and then we'll say goodbye. We put it up earlier. If anyone wants to talk to anyone about mental health issues, and there's plenty of organisations out there: Mind, Time to Change, Mental Health, Samaritans, Calm Zone, November. This weekend we're doing a 3-day raid train. Double P has organised it with a little help from Sideshow and me and a couple of other people, and it's all part of raising awareness of mental health. And I think it starts off at 6 o'clock on Friday with Minimal P, and then we go right through. We end up in Coffee and Donuts and then Ace of Raids, and then we go through Saturday night, and then we end up on Sunday morning with Reggae Fire, which is part of Sunday Sevens, which again is raising awareness of men's mental health and is in support of Calm, the campaign against living miserably. And obviously we're trying to raise some money for that. And at the end
sorry, Chris, is there a little thing that we put on our pages, that you take a photograph off to go to the
on the flyers there is a QR code.
That's the weird
corner. So you basically put your phone on it. It might be difficult if you look at your phone, but you put it on it like all the COVID apps and everything else at the moment. You scan that takes you straight to the Just Giving page, and obviously anything you can give, that'd be great. And then at the end of that, we've got the next episode of the show, part of our journey, and I'm talking to Jim Sharp, who was in the chat earlier, Sideshow Mall, and Double P, who was my first guest originally. That's going to be great, and that's at the end of, I think it's 52 hours we've got of the show, so it's going to be really, really good. And we're going around the world. It's going to be great. Next Monday's 45 Raiders back, Bank Holiday Special. 7 DJs doing 45-minute sets. Sam, Tommy T, Funky Chef, Paul Sitter, Justin joined me, and one more person to be confirmed. And then after that, we're back with 45 Funksters. Lots of great stuff. Nick Goodlife, Simon Cho, Mark Funk, DJ Jezebella, myself, and Metro Sessions. So, thanks for joining us. I'm going to sort out a raid in a minute because I forgot to do it on my last episode. So I'll have a look if anyone can suggest anyone we can raid to. That would be good. I don't know who's on currently. But otherwise, thank you so much.
Timmy's on.
Who's on, sorry? Sucker Timmy.
Sucker Timmy.
Yeah, we can go there. Is he playing vinyl?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah, we've got Northern Crates, Mocha Machine, Soccer Timmy.
Oh, Northern Crates always plays vinyl, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's playing vinyl, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mocha Machine.
He
What's
plays always 45s as well, I believe.
Yeah. Let's go and see. I think it looks like Mocha Machine might be digital. I don't know. Okay, let's go to Northern Crates, and then see what's going on. But
Motown Monday.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. Right. Okay, let me just type this in and then we'll say goodbye. I can't type now. Raid. We had this thing the other day about raiding, and it's I had to raid to Tommy, and it was I realised he'd changed his name from Tommy T. Well, it should have been. It used to be Tommy T the DJ, and it's just Tommy T DJ now, I think. So we got that. Is that working? That raid working? Yeah, Northern Crates. Yeah, that looks like it's raid. So that's cool. Thank you once again, guys. Really great to have you on the show. Really interesting stuff. Thank you for being so open, honest, talking about your experiences. You know, it's not easy, and you know, to come on here and talk about it live, it's brilliant. You know, thank you so much, and you know, it's great that you know all my guests have been so open, and it's good to chat, and you know, hopefully this can carry on. But I will thank you once again, and we'll see you on a stream very soon. I know Fatwax, you're back on Saturday with me on Coffee and Donuts, and also Ace of Raids. And, are you playing on Sunday as well?
I'm playing on Sunday as well, yeah.
Yeah, for Sideshow and Co. Yeah, part of Sunday 7.
Yeah, we're on Sunday 7 show.
Yeah, Danny, when are you back on?
Don't know yet. Literally, right. I think the next thing in the calendar's like June the 12th for the East Side Edits record release.
Who is the East Side Edits?
2 guys from Halifax. Not Halifax, sorry. Scarborough in Canada.
Oh, right, okay.
And they're doing like house edits.
Oh, now I'm interested.
I think we've raided out.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, you've raided. Right.
Thanks again. I'm going to end the broadcast, but yeah, hang on for a minute and then we'll go from there. Right. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.
Cheers, boys.